Hey, Dragon Slayers. It's been about an hour since my last meal. My blood sugar is 98. So, last meal I had was some ribs and some brisket. So, today's video is all about how do you know if you have insulin resistance? Well, waist circumference is an excellent proxy for overfilled abdomen fat cells. Therefore, we can use waist circumference as a low budget estimate of what's going on inside your body. The easiest way to evaluate your status is measuring your waist to height ratio. Divide your waist circumference measured at the belly button around by your height. Anything under zero point 0.5 is probably fine. The lower the better. As this number increases, so does the likelihood that you have hyperinsulinemia. It is also helpful to look at other markers of metabolic syndrome by checking blood pressure plus a fasting lipid panel as well as fasting glucose. Blood pressure should be less than 120 over 80. Normal fasting glucose is under 100, and 100 or higher is a problem. We diagnose diabetes if it hits 126 or greater. Fasting triglycerides should be less than 150, ideally under 100, and elite would be under 70. HDL, the healthy cholesterol, should be 40 or higher in men, 50 or higher in women, and the higher the better. Typically, your goal is to have the lowest triglycerides and the highest HDL. Both of them are excellent predictors of insulin sensitivity, and in fact, you can combine the two together in a triglyceride HDL ratio, which is which dramatically increases their predictive value. You really want triglycerides divided by HDL to be 2.0 or lower. An elite would be 1.0 or lower. The lower that ratio, the better. Anything over 3 is a huge problem, and the amount of concern should go up proportionately with that number. Type 2 diabetes is the end stage of insulin resistance, which is the end stage of being over fat, exceeding your personal fat storage capabilities. Along with this entire spectrum, the primary problem is storing too much energy in your body. And how does this occur? Well, you guessed it, eating too much energy. Type 2 diabetes is entirely preventable. Protein is an essential nutrient, minerals are an essential nutrient, and they tend to follow protein. Certain fats are essential, and these follow protein as well. But there are two things that are completely non-essential in the human diet: refined carbs and refined fats. They exist only to provide extra and, in most cases, excessive energy to your diet. So how do you prevent the entire spectrum of diseases downstream of being over fat? Target protein and avoid added energy. On a practical level, this looks like constantly being either low carb, low fat, high protein, or some combination of all three. So we know that type 2 diabetes is 100% preventable. You increase your nutrient to energy ratio of your diet, and this is like classical definition of what a nutrient is. So a nutrient is a substance that provides nourishment essential for growth and the maintenance of life. Protein is the most essential nutrient. Whole food fat is an essential nutrient. Carbs only exist to provide energy, and added fat only provides extra energy. Being insulin resistant does not make you fat. Being fat makes you insulin resistant. A lot of people mistakenly believe that they are overweight because they are insulin resistant, when it is always the other way around. Chronically exceeding your energy tolerance leads to excessive fat storage in the adipocytes. The actual cause of insulin resistance, or metabolic syndrome, is anything, and that is the cause, basically. And so anything that leads to fat loss will also improve insulin resistance. You have many fuels in circulation, including glucose and fats. Your pancreas is sort of like a fuel pressure sensor, and it monitors the amount of fuel present in your circulation. If fuels if the fuels are low, then glucagon raises them. If the fuels are high, then insulin lowers them. Overfilled fat stores cause hyperinsulinemia because circulating fuels have no place to go. Eventually, this leads to high glucose and high triglycerides and metabolic syndrome, as well as type 2 diabetes. Beware of processing that separates food energy from its nutrients, leaving you with nutrient devoid edible products. Devitalize dead food, which provides dangerously high energy with no macronutrient satiety. This is the cause of insulin resistance and obesity. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember that together you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.